Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the official opening of the brand new Crystal Palace FC Academy. On behalf of the club, I just wanted to thank you all for coming today and sharing this very special moment for the football club with all of us. It's so nice to see so many familiar faces from over the years that have helped get the club to this point where we are now. Very soon, we will have the ceremonial cutting of the ribbon by our special guest today, Palace Academy graduate, title-winning captain, and now England manager Gareth Southgate. But before that, please welcome to the stage the club chairman and co-owner, Steve Parish.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And yes, welcome to everybody. Thank you for taking the time for this massive occasion. I think you'd all agree, for the football club, and more importantly, for South London. So many incredible managers at the front that have helped us get to this point. Great that Patrick's brought the first team over. Obviously, the first team are the people that provide the inspiration for all of the young men that come and join this academy. So it's great to have them here today. But everybody that's formed part of getting this club to this point can feel immensely proud of their contribution to what they see here today, because we certainly wouldn't be here without you guys. Hopefully, a lot of you have had a chance to have a look round. If you haven't, hopefully you get a chance to look round afterwards. We're 11 miles from the centre of London. It's pretty incredible to try and get a facility like this right in the heart of South London, in probably one of the most diverse areas in the country, full of talents of all kinds, not least the ability to create magic with 22 people in a football, and we've got a lot of those very talented boys here. You can imagine it's not been easy getting this done, securing the land, achieving the right consent. There's been an enormous amount of hard work, and but it has, to me, been a project of absolute joy through these difficult moments. And although football academies are Darwinian in a way, they're very competitive and they're tough. As we all know, they're also full of incredibly dedicated coaches and teachers and mentors, and they're places of optimism and inspiration. There's lots of joy and laughter and hope of all the things that we sometimes forget football is about. I don't remember anybody first kicking a football for a contract or for money. They did it for fun. And when you come here, that's all you really feel, is a sense of amazing fun. So what have we built? Not just some classrooms and a dome, some roofs, stop nets and cones, even if they are in themselves spectacular. And I need to make some thank yous to the people that have been a big part of that. KSS, the architects, led by Nick Marshall, Tony Martin and Tony Pitchers at Artemis, who built the whole thing from scratch. The unwavering support of my partners, Josh Harris, Dave Blitzer and John Texter, who's here today, as well as, of course, all the people at the club. Too many to mention, but I'll touch on a few. Gary's at Phil Alexander, Sharon, Sean, Guy, James Woodruff, Barry Webber, and all the other people that have worked so hard to get us to this point today. A huge thank you, because it's proof that this club, that South London, can have the very best if it wants to, and it can achieve the very best if it wants to. And this facility, this place, will host thousands of kids, not just to teach them football, but to teach them life skills. We've got classrooms that will operate 24/7. You might learn your GCSEs, your BTEC, your computer visualisation, your carpentry, or your computer coding, or any number of other life-changing skills. This place certainly isn't just about football. One of the things that's probably most important, I think, is we teach young people how to deal with not just success, but with failure. And this place is so much about teaching people resilience, important life lessons, finding your thing, seeing people around the place that look and feel like you. Maybe your future isn't as a football player or as a coach. Maybe it's as a lawyer. Maybe it's as a club secretary. We want to make this place as diverse and inclusive as possible, and make sure that every single one of the boys that passes through here, and the girls, because we have the women's team that will be represented here as well, and will enjoy a lot of the facilities during the summer holidays, that they find their thing and they look back on their time in this place and they think, maybe I didn't make it as a professional footballer, but aren't I pleased that I went there and I'm a better person for it. So in the next 50 years, I believe this will touch a vast number of lives in South London and transform not only our club and our team, but make a real difference to our local area. We can't make everyone here a professional footballer, but we can give them all a positive experience. Finally, and before I introduce our special guest, I just must take a chance to thank a couple of other people. For Bromley Council and their leader, Colin Smith. You can imagine it's quite brave to give us planning for something like this. Sadiq Khan, who I went to see and who was very supportive and also waved it through, I would like to thank him very much. The phrase we use at Palace to sum up the spirit is South London and proud, and I couldn't be more proud of this academy, our club and our community that I am right now. And with all that said, it can't be more fitting that the person who began his football journey here in our club and then after an illustrious playing career is back with us today to officially open this amazing facility. Someone who, along with the Premier League and Jed Roddy, formulated the very concept of elite football academies in England, bringing the best facilities to the best talent. The success that the England team are enjoying now under his tutelage are not just a product of what he does as a coach, but of the many years that he spent talking people like me into making things like this a reality. So today I'm absolutely delighted and honoured that he's with us. Please give a warm welcome to the England manager, Mr. Gareth Southgate.
Thank you. I'm very conscious that there are people here who have had longer and more illustrious careers than I have, Patrick and Roy in particular at the front. People who over the years have spent a lot more time dedicating their lives to Crystal Palace. My journey was a little bit different, so what I can stand here and say is that for me everything started here as a 14-year-old schoolboy. So hopefully that gives some of the lads in the academy and parents and people that work here the belief that you can start here and you can have an international career with England. And frankly, if I can end up in charge of the national team, then anything is possible for any of you. So what have you done here? You've created, Steve and the board and everybody that's invested in the club, you've created something incredibly special. You've managed to create an elite facility, but keep that feel of closeness which Palace is all about. It's the obvious thing to say is it's a long way removed from Mitcham, where I started, where if we wanted to train in the afternoon, we were running out of hot water, and the canteen was meat pies and sausage sandwiches, and that was it until Smithy decided pasta was the way forward, which was revolutionary at the time. So a long journey for the club. Does a building in itself create a fantastic environment and culture? Well, no, it doesn't. In the end, that's going to be down to people. But what people will feel coming here every day, staff, players, they'll feel special. When we were at Palace, we had a resilience. But whenever we travelled to Highbury or to Tottenham, we did feel a bit inferior. We didn't necessarily have that investment in us. We didn't necessarily feel that we could match those teams. We could in a different way, and we had some incredible qualities that training at Mitcham gave us and that the environment we had gave us and the people that were here gave us. Now you've got a chance to do both. One of your barriers to recruitment, you've got one of the best catchment areas in the country, but if you can't match the facilities of some of the clubs that are nearby, then that is going to be a barrier to recruitment. So one of those opportunities, one of the differences now is changed. Young players, when they come here, will feel just as special as at any of the other clubs in the Premier League because your facilities are going to match that. So the onus now is on everybody to bring it alive, is for people to aspire to be the best coaches they can, is to bring the building alive, to keep the quality of the facilities that they have, to respect the facilities and keep it looking as it is. But also what we found at St George's Park was that we then had facilities that players could be proud of, that created a culture where coaches could have those conversations, could mix, could learn from each other. So the building didn't change things, but it was a catalyst for change, I think. And I think that's the opportunity that you've got now. You've got a blank canvas with a brilliant facility, with a board that are saying, we care about youth development, we care about our young players, and now it's over to you to make it happen. I think any academy has two responsibilities. The first is to develop elite footballers. And of course, we're looking to bring the couple of players that can get to the first team, which means so much to the fans, because you know the way they react to Wilf coming through or Aaron when he came through. To breed your own players is something very special for the supporters. But also, we have a responsibility to develop young men. And not everybody that comes through the doors here are going to have a career. So the fact that there's the investment in education and in holistically developing the lads to be able to do everything is very, very important. But almost maybe we should rephrase that, because if you're going to have a career as a sportsman, you're going to have a second career as well. So even the very best players have got to be prepared for the end as we've found it. The lads that have played at the front in the past, you have got to have another career. And so if you can start to give players the skills to deal with that at an early age, then the more chance they've got to be successful when they go on and do other things. In closing, congratulate Steve and the board for what they've done. You should be very proud of the facility. But now, as I said, it's for everybody to bring it to life, to enjoy it, to make it a vibrant place, and to keep the hunger that when we had lesser facilities and less things done for us, you've got to keep that hunger now to be able to become elite players, because talent is a word we use a lot, but it's not just about, that doesn't just mean skills and tricks and flicks. The lads that are playing for the first team know to win football matches, you've got to have the physical resilience, you've got to have the psychological resilience, and every young player that comes through on this journey has got to have those qualities. So I'm very proud that you invited me back. Without Crystal Palace, none of my journey happens. 10 years here, amazing football club. I wasn't here in the first team with the best team they had. Pards was. That'll live with me forever. But we had some incredible times, and I'm very appreciative for you inviting me back, Steve. Thank you.
Okay, we're now going to do the ceremonial cutting of the ribbon. So there's a very impressive pair of scissors for you.